I'm sure you've heard that messaging, and I'm sure that that's a conversation you guys have had behind closed doors as well.
Oh yeah, especially with the players. And the reason for it is special teams being three major components as far as possession of the football, possessions changing on that play, and then if you were to give it back, the biggest indicator, or one of the biggest indicators of winning and losing the game is the turnover margin. You give the other team extra possessions, you're not in a good position to win the games often. Second being field position, and then third being big momentum plays that really can ignite a team, especially with new coordinators on both teams here in the start of the season. It just gives the team the advantage with solid special teams, and obviously could be a huge contributing factor to not winning if you aren't able to really ignite the team with those plays and possession of the football.
Doug, teams has always been a way for guys to show coaching staffs just how hungry they are to get regular time on offense and defense. Do you got a hungry bunch this year?
We do, and that's the most exciting because guys, it's really telling the guys that you can tell even on Zoom calls that are just really looking at you, and then when you ask them questions, they're able to fire off exactly what they're supposed to do and how to do it. And that, to us as a staff, lets us know they're ready to play. And then obviously out on the field that they're playing fast. They may not always know exactly how to do it yet, but they go flying in there and they show up wherever the ball is.
Aztecs begin on Saturday to begin the season. UNLV 7:30 kickoff right here on Xtra 1360. Assistant coach and special teams coordinator Doug Deakin with us right now on Xtra 1360. Doug, how many times out there on the practice field in recent weeks or months have you been able to have any semblance of normalcy when it comes to having 11 guys getting to do what you asked them to do? Have you been able to do any of that?
Yeah, big hats off to our athletic department, John David Wicker, our athletic director, and specifically our athletic training staff working with the county. I got a funny story. As we started out here in September, the field goal splits had to be essentially midline splits for the old option days. They were they were 2-3 yards apart, the guard from the long snapper. You could drive a truck through each gap, but that is how we had to install field goal because you couldn't be 2 yards, next to each other. So that was new, definitely a new field goal formation there. So there was some working things out to do along the way, but we have, in recent weeks, and it's only for a certain, period of time. We could be, in a team setting, normal splits, kind of gone away with huddling as far as special teams. We'll have a mat on the sideline, get the call, and then we're out there. So a couple things have changed, but we've been able, thanks to our athletic training staff, the county, to set guidelines and be able to practice as close to how it always was.
Doug, if you could pinpoint whether it's in the return game, coverage game, place kicking, place holding, kicking off, punting, long snapping, is there one strength you point to and you think, okay, I really feel good about us going into the game tomorrow?
It was one of the bigger surprises, and pleasantly a hometown hero in Matt Ariza, Rancho Bernardo High School. That was his redshirt freshman year last year, and he set the record beating John Barron, Lord Barron, as the cult following the Aztec Nation named him after Game of Thrones there, with 22 made field goals in a season out of 26. So he did a great job in that duty, and then as well as in kicking off. The best, kickoff coverage is a touchback, and not having to cover it all. And at sea level, for all the home games, and then, especially with some of the West Coast teams in our Western Division, he had the first or second highest in touchback rate in the Mountain West Conference, and that's up against Colorado State, Wyoming, Air Force, all teams, New Mexico, all teams at altitude. So he was, to me, that was a huge asset to the team, and a big reason for field position.
Doug, you were there with Rocky Long. You're not new to the program. Brady Hoke has taken over. What's the biggest similarity between a Rocky Long-led program and now Brady Hoke?
Well, the most just awesome thing was that I got to experience that as a player in 2009 when Coach Hoke came in and Coach Long was the defensive coordinator. It was setting the tone. It was setting the culture of exactly what we're doing every day, and that's setting out to win the conference championship. So that has not changed in the last 12 years. And so that's just reaffirmed ever since Coach Hoke has reassumed the position, and the guys all have their attention towards him. And it's just picking up where we kind of left off here. And Coach Hoke certainly isn't Coach Long. Coach Long isn't Coach Hoke, but the message is the same, and it's always stated in what our mission is, and that's to win the conference championship.
Aztecs assistant coach, special teams coordinator Doug Deakin with us here. Tomorrow, 5:30 pregame with Judd and J.R. Tolliver, 7:30 kickoff up there at Dignity Health. Doug, give us the maybe the mini scouting report on UNLV as far as their special teams are concerned.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be, as Coach Hoke and you alluded to, it's going to be about special teams, and it certainly was last season when we went up to Las Vegas. You know, the guys did a great job on the punt block return, blocked a punt, backed up. When they were backed up for a touchdown, it came down to a field goal, and UNLV goes off the post. Aztecs win. So scouting report for UNLV, they're going to be hungry. They've got a lot of new faces, not only on the staff, but also on their team. So new kicker, new punter, their punter graduated, new long snapper, and a new coach. So schematically been preparing the guys for a whole bunch of different looks and just make sure they got the most exotic and some of the tougher looks so that, you know, on game day it's nothing new. And if anything, it's a heck of a lot easier and they can play fast and know exactly what the heck to do.
Doug, it's still 100 yards to score a touchdown. The end zones are the same size, but you're playing in a different place for a home field in Carson. Anything notable for field-wise or anything unique in preparation? Because it could be the first time you're playing there, just like UNLV, which wouldn't necessarily lead to think of a home field advantage.
It was a beautiful park. We got the scrimmage there several weekends ago, and I was very impressed, and we're certainly lucky to call that home while the new stadium's getting built. Things I noticed, grass field, so that's definitely something that's an advantage for us, you know, having played at Sdsu, whereas predominantly all stadiums now are turf. I mean, shoot, Rudy wouldn't have came to be because they don't even have a field maintenance anymore. Even Notre Dame is turf now.
Yeah.
So I think that's an advantage. But also it's a great setting. It is a single story or single row, maybe a mezzanine level. I think that's a little bit different than SDCCU, obviously being 70,000 plus seats and 3-tiered. So the ball gets up in the sky. You got 2 scoreboards, but it is a phenomenal setting. The guys certainly, you could tell the energy because they were flying around 2 weekends ago scrimmaging there. So we're really excited to play there.
Nice use of the word mezzanine, man. You just kind of wove that right in there. Very impressive.
Hey, Harvard of the West, San Diego State grad.
We'll look it up after we get off the phone.
Hey, Coach, good luck, man. So excited that we do have, in fact, have a fall Aztec season. Best of luck to you, the whole team, your special teams especially.
Thanks a million. And again, can't thank you enough for talking Aztec football. Go Aztecs.
Always. Doug Deakin, assistant coach, special teams coordinator.
Speaking of talking Aztec football, I mentioned the Brady Hoke show, and great job by Doug Deakin. I think that's the first time we've had him on the show. But the full hour with Brady Hoke, sportssd.com,